What is up, everybody? Stevie Breach here. I cannot believe that, honestly, we are already at the point where Night of Champions is going to be here this Sunday on pay-per-view. It seems like just last week I was sitting in SummerSlam at the Staples Center, and I can't believe we already had all this time fly by. I know that you obviously say that a lot in life, but I honestly feel like last week I was sitting in the Staples Centers with my buddies and we were hanging out watching SummerSlam, and it was a great show. I know I've sat through and I've watched most of the shows where Randy Orton is constantly into the show the same way, beating Bryan, beating Bryan, beating Bryan. And I know that finally on Monday Night Raw, we finally got that glimmer of hope as we were sitting there waiting to see if Big Show was going to knock out Daniel Bryan for the second week in a row to help out the corporation. And Bryan was able to recover, get up, and deliver one of the flying knees into Randy's forehead and knock him out. That was able for him to do the huge pose. I have never seen... Well, no, not honestly, because I mean, like, Hulkamania was huge back in the day, and Austin had his Grover fans. But I mean, like, Daniel Bryan to me has surpassed any level of fandemonium I ever thought he would ever have. This guy is over like none other. I mean, like, I know that when you go to shows, sometimes you sing and dance along with things that you don't really like because everybody else is. But when everybody shows the emotion for Daniel Bryan at the beginning of the shows or the end of shows when he comes out, you can't fake that stuff. That is just that is overall just real. And when it comes down to it, I know I've been for a wrestling fan for a long, long time. I've seen the way this shit works. When heel stables are built like this, now I'm talking about like joke stables, like three-man band. I'm talking about like the real main event deals. Triple H, The Shield, Randy Orton, the McMahon family. That is as strong as anything else is going to be. That is as strong as Evolution. That's as strong as the NWO. When you build these teams up, they don't lose. They don't lose for a long time. They might show you a little glimmer of hope where you're actually almost going to win at the pay-per-view, but you're going to get the disqualifications, you're going to get the countouts, you're going to see them just pack up and hightail out of there. You're going to see them just bend and cheat the rules, knowing that it's going to make you mad, because if they get us mad, it just makes us want to order the next show even more, even though we're going to make those reviews that say, like, I'm sick and tired of this shit, I'm not buying this show anymore, I don't care about Battleground, I know they're going to do a rematch, but you end up fucking buying that show and you end up watching it anyways, because I know that Daniel Bryan is the ultimate underdog right now. I mean, he has nothing going for him, basically, except for that he is the best wrestler in the world, and we've seen him beat Orton. I know that they don't talk about it. It's like a lot like when Undertaker was at a fight Triple H at WrestleMania 28. They never really brought up the history of WrestleMania 17. It was just 2 months ago that what put Bryan over the top and got him out of the bad storyline of, like, he thought he was the weak link was he beat Randy Orton via submission in the middle of the ring. And that is what put him over the top to when people thought he could actually win the title at SummerSlam. In storyline, that is what got him the title shot. That is the reason why John Cena picked to face him at SummerSlam, because he was the hottest thing going, and he was beating everything that was in his path. He had climbed to the top of the mountain, and he deserved that shot at the title. Now, knowing what I know about wrestling, I know the title's not going to switch hands. But because Bryan is so over, there's this little thing in the back of my mind is they might throw that little chink in the armor to where, they make it look like this corporation isn't unbeatable. They make it look like, Randy can be beaten, Triple H can be outsmarted, the Shield can be outsmarted. Maybe there is a glimmer of hope, seeing how, Daniel Bryan has this new, it's not a new move, but basically this flying move where he kicks you in the forehead and knocks you out. And maybe that's going to be just enough time that we can get a quick pinfall. We've already seen him with the yes lock. He can lock that on at basically any time in the match and get a submission. And that doesn't even take a 3 count. If they're not out there, I basically think that the Shield, Triple H, all those motherfuckers, they're going to be out there for the whole entire match. But basically, it's just hard to think what's going to happen with this match. There's so many different ways you can go because there's so many matches that you have to plan out. You have this Night of Champions match. You have what the hell's going to happen at Battleground. That might be another one-on-one. And then you get to Hell in the Cell. And that's basically where you have the Cell and you build the storyline is, the Cell is there to protect Bryan because you don't want Big Show running in. You don't want Triple H. You don't want The Shield. You don't want whoever else is going to join this team. Kofi Kingston, Cesaro, and Swagger. Who knows? Basically, everybody is at the mercy of Triple H. Triple H could ask anybody to go out there and help Randy Orton, basically using the factor of how much do you want to work for WWE? How much do you want your job? He can brainwash anybody to get into this. Basically, everybody thinks that Cody Rhodes is like the saving grace of the WWE, where they're building up this huge storyline where he's going to come back and he's going to be this big, huge megastar babyface. He could be brainwashed and put into this corporation as well. He could be the one guy that you never see coming that turns on Bryan, and then you could do Orton versus Big Show in a match that nobody wants to see, and then you could also have this this sub thing going on with Bryan versus Cody Rhodes because I don't think Cody Rhodes is ready to be WWE champion, and I think when this is all over and said and done with Daniel Bryan on top, I don't think he's going to be walking away from this with the WWE championship. And you saw how the way everybody panicked when he lost the belt at WrestleMania 28. Nobody really thought that he would have been thrown right into a program with working CM Punk, and that sort of kept him afloat. And then he went into the Team Hell No, where he was the tag champion, and he saw his stock start to dwindle, and it didn't seem like he was what he once was. But then, he rose through that because of how much everybody loves to see Daniel Bryan, and he's back on top again. But as you can see, I'm flustered. If I had to make a predictions video today, I'm picking Randy to win this via disqualification. I know that's going to make everybody mad, but just like I said, just like with the NWO, just like with Evolution, when they build these heel stables, everybody's going to be pissed with the outcome. But in the end, everybody's going to keep watching Monday Night Raw. Everybody's going to keep watching the next pay-per-view because you don't want to fall out. It's how I explained Randy Orton heat back in the day. When Randy Orton was the champion, when he was with Legacy, it was him, Cody Rhodes, and Ted DiBiase. And it seemed like Orton couldn't beat anybody. Every time, it was the same old shit. Legacy came running down. He ended up squeaking out the win, or it'd be disqualification. I hated Randy Orton as my champion. I basically hate Randy Orton altogether. If it wasn't for Triple H being next to him right now, I would hate him as the champion too. But basically, I kept watching Raw. I kept watching SmackDown. I kept watching the pay-per-views because I knew there was going to come a day when somebody finally beat Randy Orton. I didn't want to miss that. And that's the same thing that's happening right now. Everybody's going to want to see who finally is the guy to outsmart Triple H. Who's going to be the guy who finally beats Randy Orton. And it is the one loss that happens there, the one loss that's going to make this team just flat out dissolve. Pay-per-views on Sunday. It's going to be a fun one. Let's see what happens. Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton, WWE Champion. Night of Champions 213. Peace out.